Yo, what's going on, guys? REAPOFF here, and welcome back to another Skork video. Today, guys, we're gonna take it easy, and I did a bit of progress beforehand. I did try to record this video, but I kind of messed up. I kept voice cracking, and, I'm sick. I'm not really in the position to record, but this is really the only time I have this week to really record comfortably. So, unfortunately, this is the time I have to do it. So I just want to demonstrate one bug I ran into earlier that might help you guys in insight, and it has to do with inheritance, base and derived classes, and basically infinite recursion, or the exception that you get is Stack Overflow. And it's really simple to see in hindsight, but when you're really debugging, it doesn't really take you to the source of the error, and I'm going to show you that right now. So, in our Skork keywords class, in the constructor, we create an object, S, of Skork sprite. And Skork sprite extends Skork keywords. Okay, if you guys don't know too much about inheritance, basically what's going on there is when I create an object of Skork sprite, right even before this, this constructor gets called, first the base class constructor gets called, and then it cascades down all the way down. So if I create a true statement, because this extends sprite now, this doesn't even get called right away. When I create a true Skork true object or instance, whatever you want to call it, first this invokes Skork keywords, the constructor there, then Skork sprite, and then back here to Skork true, because it's basically saying it's the is a relationship here. And I kind of have a horrible picture here, but here's Skork keywords, and then it goes down to sprite, Skork sprite, and then all the other classes extend sprite, and this is kind of the hierarchy right now. And so when you create an object here, you go up this here, let's redraw that here. Ooh, there we go. Oh. Paint really sucks. I should use Photoshop, but this was faster when I was recording another video. When you create this object here, that's 3 levels down, it first calls this constructor, and then it goes down with this gold arrow, and then it goes down. So think of this as animal, and then this is dog, and these are breeds of dogs, so like Corgi, German Shepherd, stuff like that. Not every German Shepherd is a dog, and every dog is an animal. So every German Shepherd is an animal by default with this hierarchy, but not every animal is a dog, as you can see here. It doesn't go the other way, and not every dog is a Corgi or a German Shepherd. There's multiple breeds. So that's just to give you a visual there. Anyways, what happens here, if we run the code, so if we go back, in Skork keywords constructor, we create another object, Skork sprite, and this has to invoke itself. So let's just see what's gonna happen. I think if we just do Skork s, we compile that, we're gonna get a error here in this constructor, and it says Stack Overflow exception. Now if we run the same code, we might not get the error might appear in the other part in Skork keywords. Yeah, look at that, I just showed you. So the same error appears in both classes, and the reason for that is it just depends where this Stack Overflow gets checked, where it checks that's in a infinite loop, and it's basically is it an odd number or even number, because it's going between these two. And wherever it stops, that is where it's going to tell you the error is, and whatever constructor that is. So yeah, it's not really too explanatory. See, it's telling me that this is the problem, but it has nothing to do with it. It's this line here. It's creating the new object, Skork sprite, that invokes its own constructor. It's just another way of creating a Stack Overflow exception indirectly. As you can see, it generated the error. I didn't change any code, but it generated the error in 2 different classes. Really interesting stuff there. Anyways, let's move on. Don't want to make this video too long. If we do Skork s, but we remove that code, right? Okay. And we compile. I have the left function working. Sorry about that. I really should collect my thoughts. So when I create this, I have like really stupid spaghetti code, let's call it, that it doesn't really parse this text, but I can show you what it's doing. I created don't worry about all of this. This is just invoking all the rest. But we create a keyword object, we create a sprite object and a left object. And I just want to show you. So I'm using the left object and calling its left member function. And I'm passing the sprite that I just created. And I want to go left 100 times. Now if we don't put anything here, like a default parameter, this will just work once. And the way to invoke this is just put S between a colon. And this is how it gets invoked right now. S, and I have the read until method there. So yeah, that works S 1 time. Now if we put 4 there, it's gonna do it 4 times. S, oh, it's gotta be capital. There we go. So 4 times 3, 2, 1. That's 4 message boxes, and that is correct. So I just want to show you that left function. It's a so it's just one method actually, and it's a recursive definition of itself. So within itself, you have a default, you have a Skork, you pass in a sprite that you want to apply the left function to. So right now, like I said, the design of this entire project is just not right, because right now a Skork left object extends a sprite. So why should I pass a sprite if the left is a sprite? You know what I mean? It's weird. It's very weird. So right now this is just how I have it working. So this might not extend a sprite at all. It's gonna save memory if I get rid of it anyways. Oh yeah, I should pass it by reference, but that's a story for another time. We have a default parameter, int x. This is how many times you want to move it to the left, and by default it's 1. So you remember if we run this code, I remember I showed you guys a while back, this is creating a sprite object. If you do Skork or sprite, it doesn't matter. Sprite s, create a new line s.left. This invokes the left function right here, but there's nothing in the parameter list, so since it's like that, it just calls itself once. But if you put any number in here, then it's a recursive definition of that function, which is defined here. It's within the same function. So if we look at it, we just have a condition checking, you know, if it could move to the left, you know, it's not on the boundary. And, you know, x is greater than 1 if, you know, you're moving more than 1 time to the left. You change the location to x minus 1 because that's the left. And then I have a message box, which is not necessary. And then right after it, we have the left function, and we call itself, but we pass in x, you know, minus x, which is the same thing as x minus 1. You know, it's a pre-incrementing operator right here. So this would minus x from itself first, and then call the function. And then it keeps doing itself. And then if this condition is not met, it just returns it. It breaks the whole function, which is exactly what we want as of right now. Later on, where I have these breaks, we're going to generate actual exceptions. And we're going to post all that information into a debugger. I'm going to have an exception handler in, so I have a debug window here. And this is just going to be a big text box, and it's going to spit all sorts of information with timestamps about what you're doing and stuff. It's like, oh, object created S here at this time, and generated exception at this line, and all this stuff. It's gonna be pretty neat. This is gonna be a huge work in progress as the development goes on, because this is something that just takes a lot of time. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be about it, I think. There's not much else to show. I'll show you something else. Right now I have the settings window here. Right now I'm really focusing on drawing it. Basically getting this into the center, this box. This is gonna be the GitHub profile picture of mine. And then some stuff about it here. And this is gonna this GitHub area here is gonna actually be information about the project itself and commits and all that stuff. It's gonna be pretty cool. We're gonna have settings and project, which is basically creating a project in Visual Studio. It's the same thing. And yeah, so about is gonna have all this various information. And right now I have it parsing the text file from here. If I find it. Yeah. Here, I have it getting this picture. So all is good in the world right now. So yeah, we're doing pretty well, guys. I have the read in between as well function to help me with this. Basically, we can change this. I don't know if I showed you guys, but let me do so really quick. So this is currently my GitHub profile picture. And if we change this S equals and then number between the equals and this ampersand, we actually could change the size to whatever we want. As you can see, that's a 20 pixel by 20 pixel now, or something like that. Now it's 200 by 200, and here's 220 by 220, and you can change this to whatever you want, but whatever the maximum size of the picture was, I think like 400 by 400, something like that. Then yeah, it doesn't get changed. Yeah, it's something around there. It's like 430, let's say. Yeah, maybe something like that. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in a live stream pretty soon. Peace.